Tigil muna sa pag-iikot ang mga presidential aspirants sa iba't ibang lugar, si Senador Ping Lacson nag-aabang pa sa result ng kanyang RT-PCR test. Simula noong Martes ay naka-isolate na ang senador matapos ma-expose sa kanyang anak na nagpositibo sa virus. Ikinatuwa naman ni Manila Mayor Isko Moreno pagdagsa ng mga delivery driver na nagpapabakuna sa drive-thru booster shot sa Maynila. Bukas ang drive-thru vaccination maging sa mga hindi residente. Ayon sa alkalde, may sapat na supply rin sila ng mga gamot para sa COVID patients. Maaari ding makakuha nito kahit sino, maging ang mga taga-ibang lugar. Nagpapatuloy ang swab cab program ni Vice President Leni Robredo. Ayon kay Robredo, halos kalahati ng mga sumailalim sa libreng COVID test na isinagawa sa Quezon City ay nagpositibo sa virus. Samantala, ikinatuwa ni Senador Manny Pacquiao na namagitan ng Philippine Sports Commission sa gusot ni pole vaulter E.J. Obiena at ng Philippine Athletics Track and Field Association o PATAFA. Ayon sa retiradong boxer, handa rin siyang makatulong para maayos ang gusot, lalo't itinuturing niyang national treasure si Obiena. Binanata naman ni Labor Leader Leody de Guzman si Pangulong Duterte matapos sabihin ng Pangulo na hindi siya hihingi ng paumanhin sa mga namatay sa ilalim ng drug war ng kanyang administration. Para kay de Guzman, palpak ang illegal drug at anti-corruption campaign sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Duterte. Nabawasan pa ang mga nasa listahan ng aspirants para sa pagkapangulo, tanging si presidential hopeful Bongbong na lang ang may apelyidong Marcos. Makaraang alisin ng Commission on Elections ang isang Maria Aurora Marcos na idineklarang nuisance candidate. Tinanggal na rin sina Hilario Andes, Danilo Lihay-Lihay at Edgar Niez. 11 na lang ang natitira sa listahan. Yan ay sina dating spokesperson ng Palasyo, Ernesto Abella, Labor Leader Leody de Guzman, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, dating Defense Secretary Norberto Gonzales, Senators Ping Lacson at Manny Pacquiao, Jose Montemayor at Vice President Leni Robredo. 9 aspirants ang nasa vice presidential race at 64 ang maglalaban sa senatorial race. Target ng COMELEC na ilabas ang pinal na listahan ng mga
I'd be dealing with some of the guys in the panel. I would be requesting them to help give us the input. Pero sa bagay nandito sa akin, dito sa screen na malapit sa akin. So I will just read the rundown of the day's events. Then I would ask the task force yung sa kung ano ang it's the basic things. It's always medical care. Medical yan. So ang importante medicines. Aside from that, yung prevention of people na unvaccinated would go around. Baka alam na nila, hindi nila alam mayroon na sila, and they would go around, and because they are not vaccinated, if they are also contaminated, they would spread the disease among his fellow men. Kaya some lawyers saying that we cannot restrain. Ako, measures. I said the ministrant functions, I repeat, of government is to come up with measures to protect the public interest, public health, public order, public safety, and blah, blah, blah. So, in the absence of a law, yung presidente is called upon to act. And because it is a national emergency, it is my position that we can restrain. And that I have ordered the barangay captains, because under the law, ang barangay captain can enforce all the laws of the land within his community. That's the long and short of being a person in authority. Lahat na batas, except those reserved for some sectors, agencies, and the President, lahat, they are mandated to enforce the laws of the land, all laws within their jurisdiction, except the exemptions that's reserved for some officials or agencies. That is my position, and I continue to, I'm now giving orders to the barangay captain to look for those persons who are not vaccinated and just would request them or order them, if you may, to stay put. And if he refuses, he goes out of the house and goes around in the community or maybe wherever magpunta, he can be restrained. And if he refuses, then the barangay captain, being a person in authority, is empowered now to arrest the recalcitrant persons. That is in addition to the police power, the agents of a person in authority. Yun ang ano. And a person in authority, the barangay captain, can also mobilize civilians and adopt them as give them the task officially, probably written, and that converts their status from being a civilian but also a person in authority called upon to assist the persons in authority. They now become agents of a person in authority. That is my position. Bahala ng, well, they can file cases. I'd be happy to answer. Sabi ko na, mayroon naman akong kaso sa ICC, di ipatong na ninyo para isang sagutan na lang pagdating ng panahon. But as I hate to say this word, pero these words, being the president, ultimately, I am responsible for the safety and well-being of every Filipino. And that is why my orders are to restrain them. Hindi naman kaagad arestuhin. Pakiusap lang. Hindi ka nagpabakuna, then you put everybody in jeopardy. You go out, you get contaminated, dalhin mo. Ngayon, por pamilya, por bahay ang contamination. Let me just read the report of this is a collected or called from the report, different reports from government. I speak to you tonight with much concern over the rising cases of new COVID-19 in the Philippines, particularly in the National Capital Region. From around 5,400 new cases on January 4, please, I repeat, from around 5,400 new cases on January 4, it went to more than 17,200 by the January 6. Notice that the Roman Catholic Church has agreed to our suggestion that they forgo the celebration. Walang procession sa Black Nazarene. God is always there. He's everywhere. You just pray for the country para matulungan ninyo. Kasi kung mag-congregate kayo, dagdagan ninyo ang problema. And it becomes a heavy burden on government. Ayaw naman namin magsita ng tao na sabihin, umalis ka dyan kasi ganon-ganon. That is not a pleasant job. So, spare us, mga kasama ko, yung Black Nazarene procession will not take place. God will understand. He knows the problem. So, magdasal na lang tayo. So, kung wala na, I will continue with the memorandum. We are reverting back to a stricter quarantine protocol to minimize mobility and exposure of the coronavirus. Our minimum public health standards shall be strictly enforced, and violations shall be dealt with accordingly under the law, especially under Republic Act number 11332, or the mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases and health events in public health concern. To our countrymen, please follow persons in authority who are enforcing the restrictions and public standards. Must ito, must obey. Mandated na ito. Kailangan sumunod. Hindi lang sabihin kung gusto mo. Susunod kasi, I said, otherwise, you deal with the police or maybe the military on a long stretch. In local communities and barangays, your barangay official, including barangay tanods, are agents of a person in authority. Mali yung sinulat dito because they cannot be considered person. Only the barangay captain is a person in authority. It attaches to the position. No, yung mga barangay tanod pati barangay officials, ito yung ang pulis kasi ng barangay is the tanod. So ito, they become agents of a person in authority. Kagaya na rin sila ng mayor. Sa akin, tabla tayo ng title. So if you are appointed by the person in authority, you become an agent of a person in authority. So kayong mga barangay tanod, trabaho talaga ninyo yan. No, in progressive areas, yung allowance ninyo maganda man. I think you get a bigger share of the city's funds. Yun namang mga mahirap, tagalogin ko muna na tumulong na lang kayo, kusang loob na lang ninyo, nakikiusap ang gobyerno para tumulong at tatrabahuin nyo yung trabaho ninyo. Sa mga Bisaya, sunod mo sa gobyerno, sunod mo sa inyong barangay captain, kaya naa sila specific order, gikan nga rin sa taas, sa ako, padong sa ila, nga naa sila sa poder o ang tanang mga problema na ginatagaan og solusyon sa gobyerno inyo pong tumanon in your local barangay. The Metro Manila Council and specific LGUs in NCR have resolved to limit the movement of persons who are unvaccinated. This will be enforced with much concern for public health, above all else. On this note, I appeal once again to our kababayans who are unvaccinated. Yan lagi ang problema. Kung unvaccinated ka, hindi sabihin na that you are being you're on a force talaga. Pinipilit ng gobyerno na talagang nasa bahay ka lang. That is a forced gesture of government. Either sumunod kayo o magkawatak-watak itong bayan kung magtigas ang ulo ninyo lahat. So, ito ay kung maglabas lamang kayo, punta na kayo doon sa, ano ba ninyo katakutan na lahat mang kami dito bakkunado? Wala mang namatay. At least wala pa. Baka mauna ako. Pero nagpabakuna ako. Ngayon, kung hindi talaga you get reinfected or your antibodies is not as good as the others, malas lang. Lalo na mga senior citizens, kung makalakad ka pa, kindly, kung hindi, pagkatapos ng araw, mayroon bago mag-uwi yung mga yung mga nagbibigay ng injections, you just request one of them to go to the place if the person is not